Thanks for tuning in to today's live. I appreciate you all for spending your Sunday afternoon with me if you're on the West Coast, and your evening with me if you're on the East Coast. To my replay gang, thanks for tuning in as well. I appreciate you all for tuning in and catching up with me. I hope that you can join my live uh, as is happening next time, because that's how we really bond and connect when you guys are here with me live. So I hope in the future you can tune into me live, but I do appreciate you tuning into me on the replay. You guys all saw the thumbnail. I am on a weight loss journey, and I am bringing you along for the ride. This is not going to be easy for me. I'm a private person. I really only share surface level things online, and I'm not the most vulnerable person, right? However, I feel the need to share this aspect of my life. So I want you guys to come along with me for the ride. Um, Today I read somebody said that when we share our testimony, that's how we are able to combat the enemy, and that's how we are able to help others. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to share this with you all. Plus, I feel like it's a way to hold myself accountable. You know what I mean? I did create a Facebook group 2 years ago for that very reason, but um, I'm in and out of that group. Like, I'll share things and I'll be on the clean eating track. But this time, I feel like it's more real. Like, I don't know, for some reason, I feel like I'm really, like, this is the time. This is really the time. I'm really going to do it. So I said, let me include YouTube on this journey as well as my Facebook group, because I feel like not only will I be keeping myself motivated. Hey, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. Ahmet, I think I said that right. Thanks for tuning in. Um, Here I go. Let me stop. But I just feel like it's a bigger opportunity. Hello, Dash. Hi, how are you doing? Hi, KK. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Um, do me a favor and also hit my like button. Double tap the screen or hit the thumbs up for me. I appreciate if you do that. But I feel like, let me set my notes down. Let me keep it real. I feel like if I share my journey on Facebook, on YouTube, I have more eyes on me. Not only that, I have more of an opportunity to inspire others to um, not join me, because sometimes people are not ready yet. But if they see me doing it, then maybe they'll know that they can do it. If it could be weight loss or anything, but especially weight loss, because that's what I'm talking about, right? And that's why I'm doing this. Plus, um, I just felt like sharing. I feel like I'm in the time of my life, I'm in the prime of my life, and I don't have any reservations or anything holding me back about just keeping it honest and keeping it real with people. If you're going to be a content creator, if you're going to show your face on YouTube, you just got to be willing to keep it real. Uh, my Facebook name, if you go to my profile, you can find all my Facebook stuff over there, for Instagram, TikTok, and all of that. So if you want to follow me on those platforms, you can look under the description in the profile, and then I have my website links. I have all sorts of things. You can also, if you want to, you can donate a cash app to me as well. That's there too. I never say that, but since you brought it up, you can also donate to my channel. That helps me out as well. And if you don't want to donate, you can also just like. So let's get into some things. Why do I want to lose 100 pounds? Well, to be honest, my health requires that I do. I'm overweight. I have been overweight for some times, but now I am considerably overweight. I'm not just obese, I'm probably morbidly obese. And that's not okay with me. Um, for years and years and years, I was dealing with stress, I was dealing with anxiety, being a single mom, and just life in general, right? However, I never had high blood pressure. Go figure. But eating, eating poorly and living with stress, I had a lot of stress from work. I took some time off from work, um, thinking that if I took time off and, got therapy and just got a rest and got a break from all of it, that then after some time I would be ready to go back. But that didn't happen for me. Actually, what ended up happening is when I went back to work, I ended up getting high blood pressure from the stress of going back and forth to work. And I kept saying to my therapist, to my doctors, look, I don't think, I can travel that far. I don't think I can do it. I know I can. I'm doing it. And it's harming me. I'm at the doctor's more than usual. And what do you know? Before I knew it, I had, I was in the hospital. Well, the ambulance was coming to get me because my doctor was like, look, why haven't they been addressing your high blood pressure? I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, your blood pressure was this high when you went to the doctor last. And on that day, I took my blood pressure. It was like 190 over 110. The doctor was like, you need to come get some medication right away. You're going to stroke out if you don't get medication. So I ended up calling the ambulance because I started panicking and I started feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a stroke. And I get to the hospital and they're not really worried about it. Apparently, they see people with worse blood pressure. But for me, that was bad because my blood pressure had never been that high before, like ever. So they gave me something that they just watched me and it wasn't coming down. I went to sleep and it still wasn't coming down. So they finally gave me something to bring it down. And what I ended up doing was eating clean for a couple of weeks. I lost 15 pounds. That helped, but I wasn't able to stay eating clean, so I ended up taking the medication. I tried going days without the medication and just monitoring myself, drinking more water and things of that nature, but my blood pressure kept going back up without the medication. Um, because, again, I wasn't able to uh, restrict myself and stay away from the things that um, were causing my blood pressure to increase. So now I'm taking like a small dose of losartan. Let me know in the comments if you have ever heard of losartan or if you have ever dealt with something like high blood pressure. Also, for a number of years, I would go get my physicals, go to the doctor, get my blood work done, and I never had diabetes. And sometimes I would be pre-diabetic, but this last time I went to the doctor, I was really up there. And I cannot lie, I have been indulging and just enjoying myself this year. And I feel like it's because I had a little bit more stress this past few months, um, between being a mom, graduation, proms, and just dealing with other extra stuff that I normally didn't have to undertake. I had undertaken a new responsibility, and that was a lot for me because it was something I hadn't planned on, but I was doing out of love, but it just was so difficult for me to continue doing it. And I just had to finally say, you know what? I have to take care of me because I have other children. I have children, and I have to make sure I'm my best. So once I was no longer undertaking that, I feel like the eating, the overeating stopped. I still was eating bad though, but I wasn't eating as much. How am I feeling today? I feel great. And I'm going to get to that, K Money. Thanks for tuning in. Did you hit that like button for me, buddy? And how are you feeling today? I know yesterday you were pretty sad. And I hope you're feeling better today. I know, it's not easy, but I hope you're feeling better today as well. Um, So, but I'm glad I went through that because it was something I really wanted to do, and it's not something that I regret. But it did allow me to see that I need to take better care of myself, and no matter how I feel about a situation, I have to weigh my options. I have to really look at things and see if this is feasible for me to undertake. I had a project I had been working on, and I just could not get to it. And I was getting paid to do it, and I just couldn't do it. I just didn't have the mindset for it. It was just too much. And that was causing me to just eat because I'm procrastinating. I know I need to get this done. I'm worried about when am I going to get this done. So once I decided, okay, I don't care how much money I'm going to miss out on, I'm not doing this, then I was able to, like I said, go back to my normal eating patterns. But I was continuing to enjoy myself and eating the Ben and Jerry's ice cream with cookies, chocolate chip cookies, peanut butter cups, going to Wingstop, going to get my oxtails and rice and peas. What else do I like to eat? My fried chicken, fried fish. Your girl be enjoying herself. I'm not even gonna lie. I love food. But I knew that I was harming myself because my ankles would swell. I would sweat, and then I would be short of breath. And then I just kept gaining weight, right? Just gaining weight out of nowhere. And not out of nowhere, I know where the weight was coming from. But I did not want to continue going down that route because fast food is expensive. I feel like I was spending too much money on fast food when I should have been cooking at home, but I kept making the excuse that I was too busy to cook. Hey Ryan, how are you doing? You see the thumbnail? I'm letting you guys in on my weight loss journey. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I just said, you know what the heck? Let me let everybody in on this so that, maybe they can cheer for me as I go on this journey. And this is the first time I'm really, really serious about losing the weight. I've been talking about it to myself, praying about it. I've been journaling about it, and I will lose 15 pounds and keep it off for a while. I even lost as much as 30 pounds in 23, and I was able to keep it off for a good year. And then the weight started creeping back on as the holidays came around, and as I just started enjoying life. Right, Ryan, it is a lifestyle change. And that's what I'm ready to do is change my life. A lot of people say, oh, you can't restrict yourself or you can't change your life just like that. But would you tell an alcoholic that? Would you tell an alcoholic you can still have a little bit of alcohol, just reduce it? I know sometimes they do say that. Instead of 3 drinks a week, have 2 drinks a week. But you're still drinking the alcohol, so you're still going to have the taste for it. You got to cut that stuff off cold turkey. The same thing with crack. They don't tell people, oh, you can just have a little crack. Or, I guess, it's better than nothing to wind down. But as long as you're continuing to indulge in those high-risk behaviors, then you're never going to get the benefits of seeing how you feel without it, right? So, for instance, and I'm a strong proponent of doing things naturally when you can. If I could have kept up at the time with eating right and drinking more water, I would have done that and never got on blood pressure. I tried for a few months because I didn't want to take medication. But I just saw that my health was in peril and I needed to take something in order to reduce my blood pressure and keep it steady so that I wasn't in the hospital about to stroke out. Now my baseline before was 139/80, and that's borderline high blood pressure. Obviously 175/110 is high blood pressure, but Now my baseline is 125 over 75, which is not bad for a woman who is my age, because as you get older, your baseline actually increases as to what is high blood pressure for you. And 125 over 75, I'm pretty cool with. But if I eat right with my medication, my blood pressure is usually low. So right now, since I've been eating clean for the past week and only drinking water, now my blood pressure has, like today, it was 116 over 63. That's something like really low. Um, when it gets to under 100, like 90 and lower than that, then it's like, okay, girl, do you need to really take that blood pressure medication? And so that's where I'm at right now. I'm just steadily monitoring my blood pressure. I'm drinking the water and everything, and I'm noticing that um, the weight around my ankles and things like that, like the swollen ankles, that's starting to go away. So that just lets me know that the way I was eating was having that adverse effect on me. It wasn't even blood pressure, because my blood pressure was being controlled by the medicine. Um, but then I also take another medication. I take an inhaler to stabilize my asthma. And so I think that has a lot to do with also the weight gain and the swelling and things like that, and even the high blood pressure, because that's one of the side effects of it. But before I started taking that medication, I already had high blood pressure or borderline blood pressure. But once I started taking the medication, it made it worse. So I think as long as I'm on the inhaler, I probably would still need probably not as much blood pressure medication, probably every other day or every two days. I'll ask my doctor how they want to do that once I am keeping my weight under control. So beyond that, like I said, I was just eating anything I wanted to eat whenever I wanted to eat it. And I would be concerned about it, and I would tell myself, okay, when I woke up, we're not going to do this. But then I made a date for myself. Um, because a lot of what was happening was with me is I would fast for a few weeks. I even fasted for from March till until April. But what I was doing was I would fast until like 1 o'clock, and then once 1 o'clock hit, once I broke my fast, I'm eating whatever. I'm eating as much as I want to. So it really wasn't benefiting me. But I wasn't doing the fast to lose weight. I was doing the fast to pray and to break a chain that I was experiencing, or that somebody else was going through, and I just wanted to pray and fast for them and myself. So when you're fasting, I don't think, even if it's for religious reasons or for weight loss, you shouldn't be, as soon as your hour, that time is up, you shouldn't be running to eat whatever you want to eat. You should eat a normal meal, because what is the point of fasting if you're going to just break and just do whatever you were going to do? You're just holding it off. So I did do that, and I will say that I did lose a few pounds with it, and my weight did stabilize, because instead of eating all day, I was just eating a portion of the day. But I never wanted to fast for weight loss. I always felt like, well, you should have 3 meals a day. You should eat all day, and most nutritionists say that. But I'm starting to feel like this just from this past week. Like the first day I started, let me go back. I actually set the date of July 6th for myself, because like I said, I did the fasting from March to April, and then I had a lot of birthdays, a lot of events, and so that required me to eat. So once July 6th happened, I said, okay, I don't have any more birthdays, I don't have any more events, there's no more holidays until Labor Day. So that's 2 months of me being able to eat clean and hopefully kick off a new way of doing things, right? Hey, real life, thanks for tuning in. How are you today? I I said, okay, So July 6th would be the day that I start. I had a few ribs left over from the 4th of July. So I said, okay, I'll give myself the 6th, and then on the 5th, I will eat what I want to. But I was feeling terrible. Those pork ribs, like, I don't think I'll ever eat pork ribs again. My leg got so swollen just from eating that. I mean, as soon as I was eating it, and I said, oh, hell no. I grabbed my Stanley. I filled it up with ice water because it had been collecting dust on the side of my bed um, for the last month or two. I've been drinking soda, like 90 going north. That was another thing I was doing too, drinking all the Coke I wanted, all the Sprite I wanted. So I said, oh, hell no. I grabbed my Stanley, filled it up with ice and water, and I started drinking. My doctor told me that before, by the way. She said, if you ever feel like your blood pressure is up, drink some water. And someone had told me that before, too, like years before, after I had my third child, and my blood pressure had increased for like a couple months. And so it went back to normal. Um, and stabilized after a couple of months. But sometimes after you have a child, or sometimes during labor, especially with women of color and black women specifically, your blood pressure can go up due to pregnancy. And that's how a lot of black women are losing their lives during pregnancy. Their blood pressure goes up and the doctors can't get it down. I didn't have high blood pressure during my pregnancy, but after I had my child, I did have it, and my ankle swelled up really bad. So when I went for my checkup, they would tell me, just keep drinking water. I don't remember if I did. I probably didn't listen, but it still returned to normal, and I was okay. I think the same thing happened after I had my fifth child. Um, my ankle swelled up, and I had, like, my blood pressure wasn't really high, but it was like 140 over 90. And it stayed that way for a couple of months, and then it went back to normal. So, and I see that high blood pressure during pregnancy with black women is not, it has nothing to do with how much you weigh. Um, because when I had my first child, I also had high blood pressure due to the stress of the labor. So my child was good to go home, but I had to stay in the hospital a couple of days after I had my first child to bring my blood pressure down. And now that I think about it, I was engaging in pretty risky behavior having those kids. They're here now. But, and I know my mother said she developed toxemia as well too when she had my first sibling. So that's just something to consider, and that's why it's so important that we're watching what we eat, and we're watching our water intake, especially if you're childbearing age and you want to have a child. Um, like I said, I know people who were this small and they passed away during childbirth from high blood pressure. And they had known that they had this condition, that their blood pressure rose during pregnancy, and they continue to have children anyway. Um, I know I know a few people who they had their child and they ended up on life support. And thank God they were able to get their blood pressure down, and they were able to, uh, you know, continue on with life and be around for their children. But let me go on with that. I was just thinking about that also because I saw today, it's just funny how life works, right? Today I was scrolling on Instagram, and this woman, this black woman, had posted that she had a stroke last year. She was only 29, and she looked pretty healthy, but she had a stroke and had to go to the hospital. They had to keep her in there for like 2 months, and her blood pressure was like 255 over 210. Anyway, she's able to walk and talk, and she said that now she just exercises, and she doesn't eat fast food. So, needless to say, those things have been concerning to me. Like, I think it was one of these months, I want to say March, April, or May, I think we were eating fast food like 4 days out of the week. Like we got a freezer and a refrigerator full of food, but I'm not cooking because I have things to do. I'm running kids around, and quite honestly, I'm tired because I'm not eating like I should be eating. That was just the gist of it, right? I just wasn't taking care of myself. So I was eating bad, and then I was feeling bad, and then I was continuing on with that pattern. So in the mornings, I would just hit up Starbucks, have my chai tea, and probably coffee cake, or that lemon or that cheese Danish. A lot of times it was coffee cake, or um, what else was I eating at? Oh, I would get those little egg bites. Sometimes I would do the chai tea, egg bites, and a coffee cake. That was crazy, but I was enjoying myself. And then after that, I would feel tired, like I didn't want to do nothing because I already overloaded myself with sugar and fattening food. So I would just feel drained. Like I wouldn't even want to get up and do anything. I was just laying around, scrolling on social media. Had the project that I kept telling myself, oh, I just don't want to do it. But if I'm honest with myself, I was I was depleted of energy. I didn't have the wherewithal. I wasn't present in mind because I wasn't treating my body right. And I'm at the age where I can't do that. Teenagers can do that. When I was a teenager, I could do that because their metabolism is a little higher, and they're not consumed with the worries of the world. At least I hope they're not. My kids aren't, right? I have a teenager, she can eat whatever she wants, and she's like a buck 10, right? But she's at school all day, and she's running around, they're doing PE. They're not doing the type of things that I'm not doing. I'm like sitting around. I probably drive, sitting down, driving, taking them to school. Then I probably, you know, order whatever we're going to have through Amazon, through Walmart. I just got really, really sedentary, right? Even at work, I went from working in a dorm with kids and being outside with them and walking on track with them during their rec times and all of that to sitting behind a desk. And then I went from sitting behind a desk, having to walk and, you know, do different reports to just not really having too much to do and just being behind the desk. And then I would get up and walk, but it's just really not enough. I read, or did I hear? I don't know. But, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you guys probably know this too. If you sit for 8 hours, you can never get that back. You can never get the negative effects of that back. Like you can't just sit for an hour and then get up and walk. Like your body is not going to ever recover from that. So you're just really loaded on top of that. Your eyes are getting weaker, your posture is getting weaker from sitting at a desk all day. That's why they have the stand-up desk now, so people can stand up. And that's why you see different places, they have the employees standing up or at podiums now rather than having a chair, unless they have some type of disability. Because what happens is you're just damaging your metabolism, and that's how you get the heart disease and all those different type of bad disorders, because you're not taking care of yourself and you're not getting what you need, which is to have your body in motion, which is what we really are supposed to be doing, right? We were made to go and pick berries, and the men folk out, you know, hunting, and the women gathering. We were supposed to spend the bulk of our day hunting our food and cleaning our food and preparing for our meals. That's what we were supposed to be doing, and running from animals. But we are not doing that because the world got industrious and we got more lazy. Well, I did. Hey, Mama 3, how are you on this beautiful Sunday? Thank you for tuning in. I know you saw the thumbnail. Your girl is on a journey to losing 100 pounds. This week, I want to say really, really quickly, really, really fast. like within a couple of days. I lost 14 pounds. Um, the first day, I think I lost like, um, the first day that I started clean eating and drinking water, I just ate one meal that day and I drank water because I was just so serious about um, the water that was on my ankles going away. I was so serious about it. I knew from before, from eating clean, that if I just ate clean and drank water, that the swelling would go away. So the first day I was just like really concerned about my health. So I said, let me just drink water and just eat once. And I lost 7 pounds. So that was all water. The next day, I think I lost another pound. And then the third day, I want to say I went down another 5 pounds. And maybe the fourth day, I probably went down another pound. So it's like 14 pounds. From yesterday until today, I didn't lose anything. I think I probably lost like a few ounces, which I'm cool with. Um, if you have a lot of weight on you like I do, or if your joints are swelling, like your ankles have um, are swollen, then if you are eating horribly and you change to eating clean, or you go from drinking a lot of soda, if you go from a bad diet to a clean diet, it doesn't matter how big you are, you're going to lose like 10 pounds really fast. Um, that's just how your body's going to do under most conditions, especially if you're an overweight girlie. You can lose the weight really fast. But after that, it's going to slow down. So the first 15 pounds is going to come off in a week, maybe two. In my case, when I first did it, I think it took me like a week. Now it's only taking me like 3 or 4 days because that just lets you know how much water, extra water I'm carrying around. I'm holding on to fat. I'm just keeping it real. That's what I'm doing today. I'm being real raw, real uncut. And I have to be that way with myself. And I'm not ashamed, I'm not embarrassed of it. I just want it to stop. Right? Um, and hopefully, like I said before, hopefully somebody else watching who's in the same predicament can say, you know what? This has got to change. But for now, hi Ann, thanks for joining. I'm doing well today. I'm talking about my weight loss journey. I am 14 pounds down, but like I said, that's water weight, so I really don't count that. I'm not counting the first 14 pounds at all. If I were to go and drink a Coke, if I were to go to drink a Coke, if I were to have a cookie, if I were to have a bag of chips, a small 2 or 3 fries, anything with extra salt or sugar, that weight is coming back because that's what water weight wants to do. As soon as you start getting rid of the sugar and salt, it has nothing to hold on to. The water is going away, but those fat cells are still there and they get hungry. So if you give it any little reason, it's going to fill up. I love water. That's all I drink besides my morning coffee. You know what, Mama 3? Last year, I think I went a whole month without any soda. And I may have had like a little juice here and there. But beyond that, I was just drinking water. And the more you do it, and then if you find your favorite brand, for me, for a while, it was Fiji. So I was able to drink a lot of Fiji. But then I stopped drinking it. Now I drink Pure Life, Nestle. Somebody says that they put something in that. I don't know. It's like you can't win for losing. But it's not hurting me that I can see right now. And for now, I'm going to drink the Nestle Pure Life. I also like the Smart Water. Anybody know anything about Smart Water? You drink Pure Life too? I love it, especially when it's cold. I love to fill my Stanley up with ice and water. You're going to invest in a juicer? I have to be honest with you, real life. Juicing is just like, for me, it's just like drinking soda. Like if I was to drink juice, I wouldn't lose any weight. If I were to drink juice, my blood pressure would go back up and I would start gaining the weight back. Because juice just doesn't have any nutritional value in it. Um, it doesn't matter if it's cold pressed. It doesn't matter if you drink it fresh. I guess it's better than having like a soda in some ways, but it doesn't really have any nutritional value for it. If you're gonna eat fruit, that's better for you because once you juice it, it breaks down the nutritional value. So it's just like drinking a soda, and it has just as much sugar. So that's why I don't juice. And I used to, when I ate clean, I would drink a lot of those. I forget what they're called, but I think it's called Natural Life. I don't think that's what it's called, but it's like banana, green apple, things like that. And they're really sweet, but all they have in them is fruit. But I would drink those. I would drink like water with like the sugar-free packets, like the Crystal Light. And I didn't lose any weight, and I was eating clean, and I was working out. I did that for like 2, 3 months and didn't lose a pound because I still had a lot of sugar in my diet from the juice and like the sugar-free substances. Beets are good for your blood pressure. I read that beets are grapefruit, bananas, but really just water. Water, because water is going to get that so extra salt out of your body, and it's going to get that extra sugar out of your body. That's why it's good to drink water before you have each meal and after, because it's going to just help your digestion. A lot of people want to detox with watermelon, and that's fun to do, and it's something different, change of pace, I guess, but water is going to do everything that we needed to do. And if we just cook our food at home and eat clean, and I say that as an overweight person who has ate clean and drank water only a number of times and was able to get my blood pressure under control and able to lose a considerable amount of weight in a short amount of time. It's just being me, sticking to it and being disciplined. Um, but I will say this, anything that you're doing that's done at home, like it's better to drink a juice at home than to drink a juice from the store, because who knows what they did to it for real. But if you ate an apple, instead of drinking an apple juice, you're going to get fuller, you're going to get the fiber, and it's going to help you much better than if you juiced it, right? Same thing with the beets. If you ate the beets, then you probably get the benefits of it. And I'm just seeing like a big difference all around just from eating the fruits and vegetables, I even been eating steak. Y'all, I made steak the other day, and I ate it for like 3 days in a row with like some fried rice. That even has soy sauce in it. Not a lot, but I didn't really eat anything else. I ate like maybe like an egg sandwich in the morning, and then maybe I had a little beef and rice later on that evening. And like I said, I still was able to lose the weight. And that's because I'm cooking my meals at home, and I'm using like McCormick seasoning blends. I think I probably posted that before on here, the seasoning blends that I use. Maybe that's in my clean eating uh, playlist. But I have like 4 or 5 different ones that I use. And I do put a little salt. Before, I wasn't eating salt at all. And if you don't eat salt, you're not going to lose weight, because your body is going to crave something salty. So if you don't eat a little salt, and if you don't eat a little something sweet, and it could be naturally sweet. Like today, I had a yogurt bowl. I had a Greek yogurt bowl with blackberries and raspberries, and I did use a little raw honey and cinnamon. I think I made a short for that too. I'll post it probably maybe tomorrow morning. Um, I'm not sure, but that was a little sweet for me, but I didn't feel heavy after it. And then I had a banana earlier. Bananas are really, really sweet. I felt a little dizzy because I hadn't eaten in like 15 hours, and the first thing I ate was a banana. I would have ate my boiled eggs that I made, but I realized that I forgot them on the stove overnight, so I wasn't going to do that. But the like if you don't eat like chocolate, like I've been eating a lot of chocolate cookies, and if I switch that off for like the dragon fruit and things like that, then my body is still getting sweet things, and at the same time I'm able to lose weight because I'm not eating the fattening cookies. So um, it's my desire to, at least, like I said, I don't want to say never, because if you say never, then you are setting yourself up to do a thing for sure. But I don't want to go back to eating fast food, eating the junk food like I was doing, because it just was a negative habit. It was a destructive habit. It was a costly habit, and mostly to my health. So that's why I don't want to do it. That's the reason why I quit smoking. It took me a number of years to really quit. That's why I quit drinking after I quit smoking, because I didn't want to be reliant on negative substances, right? And I'm not putting down anybody else who drinks or smokes. Me, that's for me. I didn't want to spend my money on cigarettes anymore. I didn't want to smell like cigarette smokes, and it just was bad for my health. Um, I did those things for a number of years. I smoked cigarettes for 30 years. I drank probably just as long, and it was just catching up to me. Like I said, in my 20s and 30s and even early 40s, I wasn't feeling the negative impact of that. But pretty soon, um, as my weight kept increasing and as I kept dealing with stress, I had to pay the piper. And that's just any of us. I don't know anybody who can tell me that that they can eat crazy, smoke too, not really move around and still feel good. I don't know anybody who can do that. Comment below if you can. Um, but and if you can, more power to you. But that just wasn't my case. So that's why I just said to myself, you know what? Because food can become an addiction, just like anything else. And sugar, some experts say, is worse than drugs. And I believe it. I believe it. Like, it wasn't really the chai tea that I wanted. It was that sugar rush that I was chasing every morning. And I would get it and love it. And then come an hour later, I'm crashing and burning, because that's what sugar does to you. So I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm ready to give up that narcotic, as Ike Turner said. I'm ready to give it up. I'm ready to give up my sugar addiction. I'm ready. I just hate it. I don't want it no more. I'm tired of what it's done to me, how it's made me feel. I feel like it's a toxic relationship. I just don't want it anymore. And today I feel like I can do it. But that struggle that I've always faced in the past, I know. Like, I can be delusional all I want. But baby, come week 2, come week 3, your girl's gonna be fiending. And that's the part. Like, give me some ideas if you have any. Like, what can I do when that comes? It was the same thing with cigarettes. Like, I was able to do okay. Like, the first day, it was hard to quit smoking cigarettes. The second day, it got a little better. By the third day, I was like, okay, that first week was cool. Once I got past that first week, then I could continue going. But it was that 30th day, after I hadn't been smoking, that I just wanted to smoke a cigarette so bad. And people will say it takes 21 days to break a bad habit. Where? Who? Till this day, if somebody is smoking, I'm going to contemplate smoking a cigarette. And it's been 3 years since I've had one. Bad habits die hard. Um, let my birthday come. I'm going to want a cigarette and I'm going to want a drink because that's what I did a lot. I had a drink on my birthday. Um, when I was engaging in celebratory moments, I would have a drink. When I was around other people, I would drink and have my cigarette like an old lady. Now I am an old lady, but I'm going to want a cookie. I'm going to wake up one day and be like, I can't do this clean eating stuff no more. I just can't do it. I'm going to want a cookie. And I got to prepare myself for that day when it comes. Today, I always feel like this, like, nope, I'm not going back. I'm only going ahead. And that's why I felt like, okay, let me include YouTube on my journey so they can be like, what is that you're posting? Did you just post a Mrs. Field cookies? And I could be like, yeah. But I don't want that to happen. But if it does happen, that will also be a part of my journey. And I'll share that with you all. And I'll just keep going. I won't give up this time. That's what I won't do. I won't say what I won't eat anymore. I won't say what I'll never eat again, or I'm not going back to Popeyes. I'm gonna miss Popeyes, real talk, or that I'm never gonna have another pint of Ben and Jerry's salted caramel. Today I don't want that stuff. I can tell you that today, and that's what's important is today. It's not about the past. It's not about what could happen in the future. It's all about today. And today I feel the best I felt all year. I feel strong in my mind, in my body, in my spirit. Um, I feel like I can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. Um, but I still have that war within. And that's what people and humans we have to understand. Yes, God will give us grace to endure, and that's what He's given me is grace because at any time my blood pressure could have skyrocketed. I could have had a heart attack, anything, right? So He gave me that grace, but I still got to endure what I put my body through. I still got to endure the impact of what being overweight means. I still have to go through the struggles of what changing my diet is going to mean for me. That doesn't mean that I'm weak and that doesn't mean that I'm undisciplined. That just means that I have developed these habits that I now have to break and turn around. And I'm going to have to go through that. I'm going to have to struggle through that. And that's not something that I'm not ready for. But like I said, today it's only been not even a week for real. It's been like 5 days of eating clean. And in my past, I know that I'm able to eat clean for a good 7 days. On that 8th day, things start getting real shaky. And I'm going to want to, test my limits and say, oh, I can just have one cookie. And then that one cookie will turn into two. And if I can't get past that, then it's going to be disastrous for me. So I told myself this time that I'm not going to say I'm not going to eat chocolate cookies at all. I'm going to say just for the rest of July. So I can eat whatever I want to eat whenever I want to eat it. But I'm not going to do that until, if I want a chocolate cookie, August 1st, I can have a chocolate cookie. If I want some Ben and Jerry's or Popeyes or whatever, then it would be August 1st. That would be more than 21 days. That would be what? 23 days that I have been eating clean. So that's what I want to do. I want to give myself a full 21 days or 3 weeks of eating clean so that my body can feel the full weight of what eating clean does for it. Um, Eating clean just helps you not have to worry about all those. Maybe Maybe you'll lose weight, maybe you won't, but if you eat clean, then you don't have to worry about your blood pressure being high. You don't have to worry about um, having diabetes or anything like that. You know, your blood sugar is just regulated and your blood pressure is too, just as a result of eating that way. And clean eating is just eating the food that you cook and in its natural state. Thank you, Edward. Oh, I haven't lost 100 pounds yet. I'm on the journey. So far, I've lost 14 pounds, but uh, I'm not taking that 14 pounds into consideration, Edward. I'm starting from today, and I want to lose 100 more pounds because the 14 pounds I just lost, I was the biggest I have ever been. The biggest I ever been. And hey, Lala, nutrition. Um, how are you today? Let me see something. 1 pound at a time is right. I'm sorry, I can't really see on the screen, so I gotta look at my phone. Yes, we need to eat smart and letting God take control of our destiny. Absolutely, and that's what I'm pretty much doing right now. Um, I'm thankful to God. Like, I haven't paid my kids. My kids know they can come and get a easy dub or two, or even 100 from me if they wash my clothes and vacuum my floor for me. They have their own chores that they do, but now I've been washing dishes more. I've been vacuuming my own floor, and vacuuming the floor is hard work when you're a big girl. And I've been vacuuming my floor like I did so much. I've been working out after 1 week. 1 week, but I had already been feeling better because I had already started uh, doing things around the house more and making changes already as far as in my physical activity. I had already been um, making sure that um, I went to bed at a certain time and I was getting enough sleep. So that was helping me already. So I was able to do more. And this week, I just been able to do just loads more, a ton more. I'm telling you, when you go from, like I said, eating poorly to eating healthy, it's just like your body is so grateful. You get more mental clarity. You get a burst of energy. You sleep better. All of the things that people talk about, you have more endurance. I'm not as short of breath. Like, I could probably run a mile right now if I wanted to. I don't want to. Yeah. No, it won't be easy. And that's what I was just saying, Edward. I was saying that I'm prepared for the struggles. And I know that no matter how badly I want to lose the weight, I still have to go through the struggle of dealing with myself because I've incurred these years of eating poorly, and that's the way my body is conditioned to eat. So my mind, I mean, my body is going to want that. Even though my mind is saying, no, don't do it, don't do it. I'm going to have to pray really hard and really give it to God. And it's really going to take me just saying, no, absolutely not. Like, I've been able to do it for the last week. Like, I haven't even wanted it. Um, and this time around, I can say that because normally I would just eat clean, but I wasn't really fasting with it because I always felt like, I think you should eat throughout the day so you can keep your metabolism up. But eating throughout the day, sometimes I would just be eating and like I would be eating for the sake of eating, which is one of my poor habits. Like I'll eat to fill up my time. Like I'm bored, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I'm stressed. So I was just eating for the sake of eating. So like I said, I kicked this off, this new journey off with just like a real quick fast. And the first day I just had one meal. The second day, I think I had maybe like something small in the morning and then like dinner later that night. And that's what I've been doing. Like I've been able to go like stop at eating at 3 or 4 and then not eat until like 10 the next day. Like 3 or 4 p.m. and then 10 a.m. the next day. So that's what, like 12, 19 hours. And that's been helping me to stay full longer. Like the longer I go without eating, the longer my body will go without eating. And I've heard that before, but I just, like I said, I was used to breaking a fast and just running to food right away. But now I'm getting full quicker, and now I'm able to go longer without eating. I don't know why that is. All I can do is thank God for it, because in the past it wasn't like that. And just staying on top of my water. And maybe it was because, like I said, here's the thing about with sugar, why it's so addictive. The more sugar you eat, the more you're gonna want to eat. And that's what, and Lala, I know you have the juicy and raw nutrition, but for me, when I drink, like juice, or I drink soda, if I drink anything sweet, then I tend to have more of an appetite. Like I want to eat. Like my blood sugar is just so off kilter that I want to eat more. And that's why I try not to juice. That's why I try not to eat sugar right now, because if I eat sugar, then I'm going to want more sugar. Weigh in on that for us, Juicy and Raw. How do you feel about that? Because I know that Real Life said that she wants to get back into juicing. I know that Real Life, you and Kendall, you guys just did a juice fast. How did you feel after that? Because I'm not a nutritionist. I don't want to give out the wrong information or deter somebody else for something that they may be doing to benefit them. Because just because it didn't benefit me, it doesn't mean that it won't benefit you, right? Right, Mama Three. I'm gonna have to keep motivated, and that's what this is all about. And that's why I decided to share this journey, just a way to hold myself accountable. And the thing that's been keeping me motivated right now is really how I feel. I feel better. I feel so much better. So it's given me the opportunity to just really see what, and I knew that this would happen because I've been here before, but it's just been, in the past, it's just been that my cravings were so strong that I just said, go ahead and have that cookie. You have to juice greens and treat juice as a supplement, not a starvation. So you just juice the greens. What type of juicing do you typically do? Like what's something that you would recommend? Because sometimes in the morning I might not be hungry. I might just be thirsty. Hey Butterfly, how are you doing? Excuse me, guys. Um, ooh. Sometimes I may just be a little thirsty. That's a whole conversation, and you have guides for that. Well, let me go over to your page and check that out. And do you have that information like available on your YouTube, like the links to that? Guys, I'm talking with Juicy and Raw Lala. So if you're not following her and you're thinking about juicing, or you want to learn more about juicing, follow Juicy and Raw with Lala. Like I said in the past, I've usually bought store-bought juices. I didn't really juice at home. I would buy those juices from Pressed. And I will say the ginger ones, they did make me feel like they made my digestion feel better. Like I felt like that was better. That's what your page is all about. Absolutely. That's why. Uh, that's why I said that. Juicy and Raw with Lala Nutrition. But I'm going to go over there to see what you got going on. I have been to your page, I think, for a live that you were doing, but I don't think that I have really got into like the juicy things because, like I said in the past, it just didn't really work for me. But there may be more information that I need to learn because, like I said earlier, fasting didn't work for me. But now I see that it does. My teenage daughter, she fasted and she kind of did it a little differently. What she did was she worked out and she drank a lot of water and she just did like the 1 meal a day thing, but she ate whatever she wanted to eat. She didn't really eat clean. And even now she's going to the gym every day with her friends, which I think is a great way for her to start off her life as she's becoming an adult and going to college. I think it's a great thing for her to be working out. My all of my kids, they would drink water before anything. As long as I have the house stocked with water, they're pretty cool. I might buy them a ocean spray cranberry juice. I might buy that once or twice out the week, or I might buy 2 of those larger bottles for them. And once that's gone, it's gone. I also like to like buy them a box of chips or something like that, which I want to hopefully get them out of that as well. Because if I see the chips, I want the chips, right? And plus, if it's not good for me, it's not good for them. But I did buy them a box of chips. Once those chips are gone, those chips are gone. Great luck to you. Yes, please don't starve yourself fasting. Choose habits that you can keep for life. Thank you. When it comes to fasting, I'm not necessarily starving myself or trying to not eat at all. I definitely gotta eat, but I'm trying to maintain a new habit of not eating consistently because beforehand I ate a lot throughout the day, and I agree with you on that. That's why I didn't really think fasting would work for me because I wanted to do something that was maintainable, and I also wanted to do something that wouldn't put my body in starvation mode and do the opposite, right? So I actually said that to the doctor once. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to lose this weight because my doctors at Kaiser will never give me like, now they will, but back in the day they wouldn't. My doctor wouldn't authorize any weight loss medications, which I really didn't want to take, and he wouldn't authorize weight loss surgery. He was like, I think you can do it. If I could do it, I would have did it, sir. I done gained like 80 pounds since then. I was like 80 pounds smaller when I was like, look, I need something. But I wasn't serious about it. I just really felt like, okay, I need to do something. Um, I didn't want the weight loss surgery. I didn't want to take medication because I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of people who do the weight loss surgery and who do the medication, they gain it all back. And same thing with anything that is not maintainable or that you're just doing for a temporary fix, it will come back. For me, I want to get my overeating under control because, I mean, you don't get fat because you're eating within your limits. You get fat, which is what I am, fat, overweight, whatever you want to call it. I'm saying fat. You don't get fat because you have healthy eating habits. So I'm just trying to go longer periods without eating. I'm trying to not get my body in starvation mode. That's why sometimes I have been eating a little something. Like yesterday, I went a long time without eating. I was like, no, you need to eat something. If you don't eat something, you're going to wake up, you know, with a ravenous appetite and you're going to run to Starbucks. You're going to run and get something crazy. So I said, eat something. And then since I ate something, when I woke up this morning, I was able to drink water. Then I said, okay, you need to eat something. And I grabbed a banana and I ate that. And then before I started this live, I said, if you don't eat now, I think it was like 1 o'clock, then you're going to do the live at 3. And then however long that runs, then you're going to go a long time without eating. So I do know that about myself. If I get to the point where I'm just hungry, if I allow myself to just feel hungry, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta eat something, then I'll eat whatever. Or I start craving. My cravings will be out of control. So I am running the gamut of controlling my appetite and my cravings. Because appetite is one thing and cravings is one thing, right? You can be hungry and you can want to eat something because, that's a normal response. Or you can just be like, you know what? I want to eat up the whole house, right? And when I get like that, my cravings aren't just to go and eat a normal meal. My cravings is, okay, I want the Subway sandwich. I also want those new nachos that they have at Subway. Plus, I want a few cookies on the side. Plus, I want chips. It gets real in the field. And I can eat after that. After I eat all that, I can eat some more. So that's why I'm just trying to control that. I'm trying to, trying to get off the crack, y'all. You know, if I'm not trying to minimize anybody else's addictions or if you ever been on drugs or something like that, but for me, sugar is my crack. And I guess that may be why I didn't do good with juicing because I like sweets. I've always been like that as a kid. I've had a ferocious sweet tooth, and I thought I would grow out of it because I knew I know a lot of people who said, "Oh, I don't eat sweets," and for me, I guess it wasn't just about eating sweets. I just was addicted to sugar. I just love sugar. I love chocolate. I love cookies, chocolate chip cookies. I love ice cream. I love soda. I love potato chips. Like I'm just a junk food junkie. That's why when I go to snacks. When I go to Kendall Raising Kings page, I'm like, ooh, let me get off of here because she's a snack girly too, and she always has the good snacks. And if I'm over there on her page too much, then I'm like, oh my gosh, let me go get me some snacks. But that's just always been my thing. I've always been a snack girly. So, like I said, juicing for me is just going to make me want more sugar. So I guess that's where we all are different, right? We have to know our Achilles heel. And for me, it's sugar. For me, it's just like have you ever been like this or met someone like this? Like after they eat a big meal, then it's like, I need something sweet. That's me. I'm that one person that, okay, I just ate the Thanksgiving meal. Now I need a little sweet, something sweet to tide me over. And that's just because I guess my blood sugar is probably just going haywire just from years of overeating. So that's what I say about that. So I do have the weight loss goal. And like I said, I lost the 14 pounds of water weight. I'm not counting that towards 100 pounds. And for the rest of this month, my goal is really not to lose weight because I already lost the 14 pounds. So I don't want to lose a bunch of pounds real quick because I don't want to get really loose skin, which I probably will have anyway. But I just feel like if you lose it too fast, in most cases, it doesn't look good. So I want to slow it down. But for the rest of July, my main goal is to, like I said, overcome that day when I'm going to have those cravings and just really push myself to overcome that feeling of wanting to have something sweet, to go get a bag of chips and a bottle of Coke, or to have that Ben and Jerry's with the cookies on the side. And I'm not talking one cookie, and I'm not talking a scoop of Ben and Jerry's. I'm talking a whole pint with 2 or 3 cookies. I gotta overcome those feelings, guys. Like, I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it honest today because if you can't keep it real with yourself, who can you keep it real with? This is that important to me that I'm willing to share it and willing to talk about it. It's that important to me that I'm able to be around to see my next set of grandkids because my adult daughter has already had grandchildren. Now I got teenagers who I want to see grow up and get married, and I want to see them raise their families, and I want to be here for that. I don't want to not be here or be watching for the side from the sidelines because I can't get up and walk because I had a stroke or I'm a diabetic and now I'm sick. And I don't want my kids to have to take care of me. Um, I want to live as long as I can, and I want to be in the best health that I can be. That's just really, really important to me, and I want to do it in a way that works for me. I'm willing to learn, and I'm open to learn from other people, and not just be so have tunnel vision and be so dogmatic. Like I'm not going to do that, or I'm not going to do this because I know that that's not realistic. You have to try new things, especially when you're attempting to develop this new habit, right? And that's just where I'm at with it. So for the first 21 days, my goal is to fast and reduce my stomach girth because right now my appetite is voracious. So, and that's exactly what they do with people who have the weight loss surgery. They reduce their stomach size so that they don't eat as much, right? And even on the diet, you have to reduce your calorie intake so that you can lose the weight. Well, not only that, you have to reduce, like, I'm pretty sure the amount I eat, I'm pretty sure my stomach is probably like double the size it should be. So as long as my stomach and my appetite is that large, I will never lose weight because I will always feel hungry. And when you feel hungry, that's when it gets hard to lose weight. And unless you have like the Ozempic or the weight loss surgery, right? And in those cases, you can't eat at all. I'm still eating, and I'm still eating a good amount. I think for the first month or so, um, even though I'm eating like my goal is to eat no more than 2 meals a day. Um, I think my calorie intake would be like 2,000 calories, along with a minimum amount of exercise. I don't want to do a lot of exercising this month because you get to exercising. Sorry, guys. You get to exercising. Well, me. I'm going to say me. I'm not going to say you. Me. When I get to exercising while dieting, then I start feeling more hungry, and so I just, that just defeats the purpose for me. My daughter, her and her friends, and like I said, they're teenagers. They go to the gym and they work out 2 or 3 hours, and then they head over to Starbucks, El Polo Loco, or wherever after. I'm like, you just worked out. She was like, I know, but I was hungry. I was like, okay. Um, they can do that. They're not overweight, and but like I said, my goal is to have my kids eat clean too. So they've been eating the meals that I cook at home, but they still been like indulging in the chips and stuff, and I want to get them out of that. I think as a parent, it's very important that you not only feed your kids, but you feed them the right things. And I can be honest and say, I haven't always done that. Nutrition hasn't always been the highest priority in my household. I'll say it, and I'll say we're going to eat healthy, or I try to include vegetables and things like that. But um, kids are only going to do what they're taught and what they see their parents doing. So I got to get out of that. But like I said, for the rest of July, my goal is to just decrease my amount of food intake, shrink my stomach, and really stick to clean eating and drinking the water so that hopefully as I go on in August and September, then even if I feel like if I haven't had cookies, cakes, ice cream, and chips for 21 days, then, and I know this about me too, um, if I have a cookie, if I have a chip, that chip is going to be very salty. I'm not going to want to eat a whole bag. Or that cookie is going to be very sweet. But I also know that first cookie is the gateway cookie. That first cookie is going to lead to the sleeve of cookies if I'm not careful. So, like I said, my goal and my desire is to be that person who can eat one cookie and be okay with that, or who can go weeks and weeks without binging on fast food and things like that, because I just don't really want that for me. And I want to eat food in its natural state. That's a goal of mine. That's what my clean eating group is all about. Um, I didn't pin it here, or in the description, but I guess when I get off of here, I'll pin it in the comments, and then I'll also pin my clean eating group, my Facebook clean eating group. I'll pin the link to that in the description as well. So if you want to join the group, you can, and you can see what we do over there. We motivate each other. We post our meals. We post recipes. People ask questions, and we just really try to educate ourselves on the best way to eat. It's not about restricting yourself. It's not about starving yourself or and not enjoying life. It's just that if you eat a cookie, then that cookie should be made with natural ingredients by you. You should cook that cookie. If you're gonna have pizza, you should eat the most natural ingredients possible to make that pizza, right? And you should make it at home. If you're gonna eat bread, eat your bread, but you should make that bread. You know what I mean? So that's what clean eating is all about. And it's not eating fried foods or eating foods with a lot of sugar in them. It's like basically just um, eating like the like the FDA or whatever says we should eat, right? Like when you go to the doctor and you see those meals that they have, or at least when I go to Kaiser, they have like uh, what do they call it? It's more like it's not vegan. Guys, help me out in the comments. What type of diet is it? It's kind of like the Mediterranean, Mediter, that diet, but um, it's a plant-based diet. That's what. So clean eating is not really plant-based, because plant-based is like you do eat meat, but you mostly eat fruits and vegetables. That's a diet that doctors say work for us best, is to eat mostly plants, colorful plants. I can't eat like that. I'm not gonna eat like that, but I can eat like that for some meals. And in my clean eating group, when I'm really active in there, on some Mondays I'll do like a meatless Monday, and I'll just all my meals that day would just be like vegan or no meat, right? Or vegetarian, I would say more so. Um, I did vegan for like a week before, and that's very restrictive, and it felt like my body felt weird. It felt like I had too many carbs. So I'm not doing that again. I've also done keto before, and it felt like I had too much fat. Not doing that again. And it felt like as soon as I came off both of those diets, it's like my cravings were even stronger. So I'm the type of girl that has to have food from all sources. Milk. I love my cheese. I love my butter. Um, I need to have something sweet every now and again, so I use the raw honey, and I'll eat like fruit. Or sometimes I might even have like if I really want to eat something sweet. Oof, people at the door. I'll have like a like a overnight oats, where I'll take like some oatmeal, some almond milk, and then I'll put like blueberries, cinnamon, things of that nature. Hold on, guys. These solicitors are bold, like they're just. Sorry again. Um, where was I? Oh, I have to be able to eat everything. So I will make the overnight oats. So I put a little cinnamon, a little honey. I'll also put um, blueberries, The oatmeal, I put some Greek yogurt in it sometimes too, and then I'll just stir it up really good, put it in overnight, and for me that's like a fulfilling treat, right? And I feel like it just really does well for me. So I might make that this week as well, but um, that's something I like to indulge in. Um, Also, you can make like you can make apples and cinnamon, and you can put a little butter, a little sugar sometimes, and you can use that to put with different meals on the side or whatever. And sweet potatoes too. When you're not eating a lot of cookies and candy and stuff like that, sweet potatoes are very sweet. Like they are so sweet. And I like to put that in the oven and let that bake for like an hour or whatever, depending on the size. And the other day, I usually put butter on it, but I said, let's see how it tastes without butter. And when I tell you that sweet potato was so good, that's if you like sweet potatoes, right? And then also, I'm a potato girl. I'm going to have some potatoes. Um, I'm not gonna eat French fries, right? But a nutritionist, I forget her name. I gotta remind myself of her name. But I did like a virtual session with her, and she was just talking about because I would go no salt, and she was like, "Girl, you gotta have salt. If you don't have salt, you're gonna go crazy." And she was just talking about how you can make potatoes and just drizzle olive oil on them and put them in your air fryer and put a little sea salt, little paprika, whatever other like powders you want to put on it. And that's what I do. I'll just like toss my potatoes in olive oil and I might put them in the air fryer and they taste so good like that. I should do that tomorrow. I don't have potatoes or else I would be doing that now. I did that earlier this week. I think I did like a potato bowl. I think I had potatoes. Oh, I did do that this week. I did do that this week. I don't think I posted that yet. I did like a bowl with potatoes and hey Smooth, how are you doing? How are you and the boys? Thanks for tuning in. I'm talking about my weight loss journey, guys. And I did ground turkey. I did have some cheese, but I did ground turkey and I did fry the potatoes in olive oil, but I didn't use salt. I didn't use that much salt. I did yeah, I'm on a 100-pound weight loss journey. The girl has been out of control all year. I got way up there. And I don't even want to tell y'all how, that's going to come down the road on this journey. I will open up about that. But I got way out of control. Like, I'm bigger than I've ever been. I've had 5 children. And I'm like, in all honesty, I'm almost 100 pounds bigger than I was in my 9th month of pregnancy with my last child. That is outrageous. That's crazy. That's diabolical to do that to yourself. Like, I used to be that girl that was like, how do people let themselves get that big? I really used to say that stuff, but it's easy to do. It's real easy if you're sitting behind a desk all day, if you're using food to cope and you're not walking, and then if you're like me who has asthma, so you can't exercise as much as you want to. And sometimes I could go like months and months and months and not even look at a piece of chocolate. And I question myself like, how did you used to eat a whole bag of Reese's in one sitting, right? And then I couldn't really fathom how I was able to do that until this year when I was just like eating out of control again, and I just couldn't really ascertain how that was happening because I'm like, I don't feel depressed, but I was stressed. I was doing a lot. I was running around with my kids a lot. They had different things going on, and so I was just running on empty, and my brain was just haywire, and it was just telling me, eat, 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 eat. And then when all of the extra responsibilities and things subsided, I said, whoa, I'm not wanting to eat like that anymore. So I guess that's how it happens, you know. And if you don't have that happening, then consider yourself lucky, because some of us do. And then that's when things get shaky. And um, like I said, this girl was 29 years old, and she had a stroke. And then there was so many people commenting, like, I had my birthday one week, and the next week I had a stroke. And this girl wasn't overweight or anything. Um, and it happens to us the most. It happens to people that look like me the most. And um, that's why I'm on this journey. And like I said, I'm not in a rush. I don't have a time limit as to how. I would like to do it in a year. I would like to do it in the next year, and that is my goal. I figure if I lose 2 pounds a week, 1 to 2 pounds a week, which is the suggested amount of weight that you should lose safely and in a healthy manner, 1 to 2 pounds a week, and that's what my goal is. So I figure like by this time next year, my goal is to be 100 pounds smaller. I don't really want to be uh, I don't really want to lose more than that in a year. I'm fine with 100. That's a lot. That would take me out of the, that will reduce all my risks, right? Because another thing too, like if you are overweight, what if they have to perform surgery on you? They can't perform surgery on you if you are overweight, because you'll be too risky to perform surgery on. Like if you have to get a hip replaced, or you break your knee, or you have anything that happens like that, right? It would be a risk to put you under the anesthesia. So that's another thing too. Like I want a reduction, and my doctor said, well, you can get a reduction, but first you got to lose weight. So that's another thing, to lose enough weight to get the reduction that I've been wanting, because now the girls are hurting my back. And I know we got guys in here, but thanks for joining. This is my TED Talk. You're just hearing the raw and uncut version of MMG. Cheer me on. Clap for me. Um, Anybody else on a weight loss journey, or wanting to go on a weight loss journey this year, and you just can't find the motivation, or, you know, or perhaps you want to stop doing something else, like any other bad habits you want to break? Comment. Let us know. And I'm going to check out the comments. Uh, okay. Sorry guys, just reading through the comments. Thank you guys for, if you didn't hit the like button, please hit the like button for me. I appreciate that. So I think I'll be updating like every 1 or 2 weeks about my journey. And I'm going to keep it real with you guys. If I fall off, if I'm going to tell you guys about it. I'm not going to keep it a secret, because it doesn't do me any good, and it doesn't really allow people to see what weight loss in action really looks like, right? We see a lot of people come on social media and they'll show us their life after they already went through everything, right? They'll show us the before and the after. We really don't get to see the during. I do follow a few people who are showing the during, and but mostly they have already lost weight, or they are already pretty far in their journey. But you guys are going to see me start, go through it, and finish it. So you're going to see me metamorphosize right before your eyes. You're going to be like, I remember when she had that first YouTube video and she was saying she wants to lose 100 pounds. And you guys are going to see me cry through it, all of that. Hey, Stash Cash, while you're here, you know what? Ryan, Ryan, I think you had some good songs, but Usher, that boy Usher just something else, right? But I think also too, and I came in because I was going live when you guys started, and I think I came in on like after some songs were already played. But Ryan, did you do any of Chris Brown's songs from the '90s? Because it seemed like that's where BD was really getting you at. He was going back, and I think the crowd last night was probably more of the old heads who could relate to Usher's old stuff. But that was a good live last night that you guys did. The chat was just moving. Everybody was highly engaged. And I was like, I should have thought of that. But yes, I really enjoyed it. So thanks for putting that on. It was now that they're not doing verses anymore, that was and Usher and Chris Brown, they both thought they were too cool to do it. Um, I think that Usher would have definitely won had they done it because I like both of them. I enjoy Chris Brown's music, and but I'm just really a fan of Usher. I think he's just a consummate musician. Yes, some classes was what got it. Thank you for coming through. I definitely appreciate you being there. Yeah, it was the classics. Um, I like I like probably Chris Brown's first album the best out of all of his albums, and then he has songs that I enjoy. I like that new song he has out, Residuals, but Residuals has probably been the only song that I've just really liked of Chris Brown's besides No Guidance. I don't really listen to a lot of Chris Brown anymore, but his first his first album I really like, and then I like Deuces and No BS, things like that from his when he first came out. Yeah, Residual is that classic song that as soon as you hear it, and every time you hear it thereafter, you're gonna have that that's it's gonna emote that same feeling. Every time you hear Residuals, like I've been listening to it since it came out, what about last year, and every time I hear it, I'm just automatically singing it. So that's a hit for him, and he hasn't had. Chris Brown has dropped a lot of music, but he hasn't had a lot of hits. You hear them and you like them, but they're not on the Billboard. Residuals, I think it made it up to 40 or 50, and it stayed on the top 100 for a while. But he's able to tour and sell out shows. He's still a great performer. He's still, I think right now we have Chris Brown, we have Beyonce, we have Usher, who are just really at the top of their game, who are really just, if you go see them, you're going to get a good show. You don't have that from most artists. Um, the old school artists are doing better than the new school artists. These new school artists, they don't have a lot of musicianship. Um, they don't have the stage presence. They don't have what it takes. And Usher, when you go see Usher, he has that voice control. He's going to be dancing. He's going to be singing. Um, I've been to a Chris Brown concert before, and he just didn't have a lot of stage presence. He said he was sick. So I give him that. But it was just like it wasn't a good show. Um, I don't. It didn't make me feel like I wanted to go to another Chris Brown concert. But yeah, good live. They are both great artists, but for me, Usher is just the one that's he's just the he's just the one to beat. He has classics, just up the yin yang. But guys, thank you for tuning in. Unless you have any more questions, words of encouragement, I think, like I said, I'll be back on here in a week or two. I might let you guys know how my first official week went next Sunday, because this is my first official week of starting this journey. I've already, like I said a couple of times before, I've already lost like 14 pounds, but I'm hoping that this week, like, it would be nice if I lost 5 pounds, but as long as I don't gain anything and I stay, you know, within the perimeters that I set for myself, that's a win for me. If I don't gain anymore, I stay right here today, where I'm at today, and I just continue to, you know, keep going, then that's my big, uh, that would be a big win for me. Thank you, Butterfly. I appreciate you. Um, that's the goal, like, to, get real fine. Because, like I told you guys, I'm single, and no, I don't want to mingle, but eventually I want a husband, and I want a good one. I don't want, I don't want just anyone. I want a good one. So yeah, I'm gonna, right now though, it's all about pouring into me. And that's another thing, guys, before I go. That's another thing that I'm really, 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 really into right now, is pouring into myself, right? Um, I just want to do that for me right now. Like, and I'm not ashamed to say this, but I haven't always done that. Like, I've always been a cocky girl, very prideful, but that was just probably like a defense mechanism. That wasn't like, I feel like you can be a big girl and be confident, but at the same time, what does that really mean, right? I'm just going to be honest. I know big girls who, who who are very attractive. Their hair is slayed, their clothes, everything, they are well put together. And they get good men that take care of them. Um, let's be clear. But if you're not a healthy weight, do you really love yourself? Um, if you are carrying that extra weight, you don't. If you're overeating and you need to lose weight, I don't care. If you're 250, 300, if you're over 200 pounds, unless you're 6 feet tall or something like that. If you're like me, I'm 5 feet. I'm 5 feet 5, right? So 200 plus, 250, 300, that is way too much for somebody my size. And I don't care how good you make it look. I don't care how confident you are. Self-love is eating right. Self-love is exercising. Sex, ooh, where my mind at? So self-love is taking care of the body that God gave you. And God didn't bring us into this world to eat all the man-made bull crap that we eat. He gave us the food he wanted us to eat. He gave it to us um, in vegetation and fruits and vegetables. He gave us the animals that he wanted us to eat. He didn't want us to eat fried foods and eat hamburgers and things like that and prepare our food the way that we do. So I'm just going to leave with that and just really let you all know that that's what's most important to me, is my health first, and two, how I care about myself. And somebody on here the other day said, "Oh, you look good for your weight, or you don't look bad at all." I don't care what I look like to other people. I don't even care about what I think of myself. I want to know that I feel good when I'm walking down the street, when I'm walking through the store. Um, I want to feel like every day that I wake up, like I'm ready to get up and go. Whatever is before me, whether it's content creation, whether I'm working on projects for people, I want to be present in mind, and I want to be present in body. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for for cheering me on, and let's see where this thing goes. Hopefully a year from now, um, it'll be a different MMG, guys. That's the goal, and that's what I'm praying about, and that's what I'm working on. You guys have a good rest of your Sunday. I hope somebody was inspired, and I hope that my reservations about different things didn't turn somebody off, because like I said, I still have room to learn and grow, and that's what I will also be doing on this journey. Thank you guys. Good night.